the intro to this taster session is being done on my sofa in my hoodie because I did the intro and the outro in the kitchen and accidentally deleted the videos. So very good job on me. But today's taster session is the cardio HIIT and insert muscle group here. So there are 4 of those sessions. We've got abs, bums, legs and arms. The arm session does also focus on chest and back, but it's easier just to generalize it and just say that it's arms and pop those all together. So these sessions last for an hour. We start off with a stretchy warm-up and a cardio warm-up. Then we do a cardio HIIT. It's normally a dance HIIT rather than a full body HIIT, just to shake it up a little bit because we're about to focus on strengthening things. So we get the fun dancey bit done. And then we move into strengthening. The sessions end with a cool down. So normally the warm-up is about 6 or 7 minutes. Then we do the dance HIIT, which can take up to 5 minutes. Then we do 30 to 35 minutes of strengthening, and then we do a 10-minute cool down at the end. So for the arm sessions, weights are very much encouraged. Very much encouraged. They're not essential. And if you don't have dumbbells, you don't need to go out and buy any. You can use wine bottles, shampoo bottles, bean tins, literally anything you can find around the house. For the ab session, weights aren't essential. Again, they can be beneficial, but we only use them in a couple of the exercises. So for example, if you're doing crunches and you want to hold a medicine ball or a weight plate, then you can use that there. For legs and bums, you can add weights if you want to, but we tend to focus more on using a resistance band or a booty band, which is a resistance band that's like a full circle. We usually pop those around our thighs or around our calves just to work that a little bit harder. Like I said, again, not essential, but can be very, very useful. So the point of the sessions is obviously to progress, build up strength, but more than anything, get sweaty, release the endorphins, have fun, and yeah, any movements can be adapted as well. Before you join your first paid class, you get a little medical questionnaire just so that I can be aware of any injuries and if we need to make any adaptations for you. But we will get started, and here is the arms taster. So with these little examples here, I'm not going to do them with music because in the last one some of the music got blocked and then you can't hear what I'm saying as I explain it over the top. And we don't want to make it too long anyway, so I'm just going to explain the moves and then we'll just gradually move on through each muscle group. So we're starting with arms. I'm just going to show you 2 things that we do in this particular session. So we're going to start with single arm pull downs. You can use weights, you can leave weights, either one is absolutely fine. You start with your arms above your head, but not directly above, they are slightly forwards. That's very important. You know, if you've got it directly above your head, if you drop those weights, they're landing straight on your head. If you drop them here, they're going to come down. They might hit your boobs a little bit, but they're going more towards the floor. And also the hold will put a lot more pressure on your shoulders if you're back there. So you've got the weights above you, you've got a slight bend in your arm. We do these 1 arm at a time. You take your arm down, your palm is facing upwards, you lower it down to about shoulder height, and then you pull it back up to come back to center. So the lowering down itself isn't particularly hard, but you want to keep it controlled and keep all of your arm muscles activated. The hard bit is then pulling that weight back up without folding it in and bringing it up. You want to keep that arm straight and bring it up. So we do these 1 arm at a time. We take it down, we bring it up, then we swap continuously to the other arm. We do this for about 30 seconds in a song, and then we move on to the next movement. Okay, the second arm exercise I'm going to show you is a mixture of 2. So we're doing goalpost press and shoulder press. So for this one, we start here. This is a goalpost position. You're imagining that this is like a goalpost in rugby. So where my head is, that's the rugby ball. You get in a conversion, it's going through. So you start to the side, hands are facing forwards. For a shoulder press, you push your arms up, your weights come above your head. Again, not directly above, slightly in front of your face. Slight bend in the arms, then they come down. Then for the goalpost press, you bring them forwards to meet each other in front of you. Squeeze in your chest. Then as you take them back, push your chest out. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And we just alternate between those. So you can come up and down, then in and out. We can do this alternating, or we can do them as separate exercises. It doesn't mind, we tend to do both and switch between, varies week to week. But yeah, that's a couple of arm exercises for you. So for the abs taster, I'm going to show you a small snippet of one that we do almost every week. It is to the 12-inch version of Oops Upside Your Head, so it's a full 8 minutes and 40 seconds. The first couple of times we did it, it was really hard. I think the second time we did it, we only did half because we were just struggling, but we've pushed forward and we now make it through the whole song and we are adding in weights. So for this particular song, there are 3 movements that we alternate between. So the first movement is a Russian twist with a pulse. So you're sat up, feet are on the floor, don't sit too far back on your bum, keep it up and take it back from your back, that way your abs will engage more than if you're sat here with a curved spine, so make sure you're up on your bum. If you're using a weight, you can hold it in front of you. You twist to the side with your elbow coming down. As you're working from your waist, you twist and you pulse it to one side, then you take it over to the other, take it down. So we keep it here for a little while before we move into the second move. Now the second move is bicycle crunches. I'm sure you all know what they are, but if you're going to add weights, they're slightly different. So the way that we do those, so you lie down on your back, knees are up, you have your arms in a similar sort of goalposty style thing. You're doing your bicycles with your legs. As your leg comes out, we bring up the weight to meet your opposite knee, and then we change and we come to the other side. Your arm comes out so it's level, and we just swap it here. So you're doing your bicycle, swapping the weights around, keeping your back off the floor, not massively, just enough to engage your core. Ooh. Okay, the third move is a form of a crunch that we do. These are circular crunches. I'll just show you these without weights because there's not really any difference. Your arms still stay across your chest. So you come to semi-supine, your arms cross your shoulders. You crunch it over on a diagonal to the corner. You bring it up, you take it round, to get to the other corner, then you lower down, release it down all the way down to your back, and then you come up and you go the other way. So we do this a couple of times. You want to really squeeze up your abs. You're trying to keep your knees still, try not to let them fall around with you as you come up and around. And we alternate between all of those movements quite a few times. So it's a round of 3. We tend to do 4 rounds usually, and they have very small breaks in between, literally a count of 8. And we go straight into the next one. We normally end a session with this one because it is quite intense, as it is a full 8 minutes 40, so we do it and then we go into a cool down. I originally did it so that each move would go with a part of the song. So you've got the oops upside your head bit, and then you've got the, you know, the bit where if you're sat down, you do the round bits. That was for the crunch circles. And then the other bit that comes up, which I can't remember right now, where you do the row when you're lying down, you go back and forth. That was meant to be bicycle crunches, but with the 8 minutes 40 version, those don't really come into it very much. So we just alternate through and I just shout as we change. But yeah, that's a little taster of our ab session. The leg taster, I'm just going to show you a couple of the moves that we do in the first number on leg day. So these can be done with the resistance band or without. So I'll show you what it would look like without the band, then I'll add it in. So we start with straight leg raises. So you're on all fours, you're sucking in your tummy to keep a straight back. You don't want to curve it, just keeping it upright. Centre your balance. One leg comes out to the back. Now keeping this straight back in place, you just raise your leg, lower it down almost to the floor, and you push it up here. So it doesn't feel particularly hard. Without resistance band, you are still working your leg. As you go along and you do more, you will obviously feel it quite a bit more. So we do that for a little while. Then we go into pulses, which is very, very similar. So you're also on all fours, but for this one, your leg starts up and you're going to double time, keeping your leg straight, pointing your toe. Try not to curve your back. That's definitely one of my struggles. But you just push it up and pulse it here. And then we go into a hold usually after that, before we go into donkey kick pulses. We tend to just do donkey kick pulses because doing the donkey kick with a full knee in is quite difficult with a band on, and we all tend to wear bands for this one. But for the donkey kick pulses, again, you are on all fours, you've got a bent leg this time. Your leg comes up to here and you're just pushing it up, trying to go a straight leg from your lower leg. So try and keep that in line, and you're just pushing up into your bum. So that's all of those without bands. If you do them with bands, on your working leg, the band goes around the thigh, but on the non-working leg, it goes around the calf. So putting it on is a bit awkward, but once you get into place, you can sort it out so that the band sits at a straight level. So then you've got straight leg raises. So you're here, you're pulling the band apart. Sorry, that was pulse. So you come up, you lower it down, and you're really pulling the band, stretching it up. Then we go into pulses. So you're here. It's quite hard not to let this foot come off the floor. You've got to push down into it as you do those. And then you've got donkey kick pulses. These are harder. You've got your bent leg and you're pushing it up. It might not be particularly far because it is quite difficult, especially if you are wearing a tight band. But that is the point. We are working on building strength. We are wanting to get sweaty, release all the endorphins, and that's it for legs. I have just realised that whole section was bums, not legs. I'm pretty certain I said legs like the whole time. That is completely bums. It does work your legs as well, but it is more focused on your glutes as you lift. We will now move on to legs. I'm going to take the band off for this one. I'm just going to show you 3 movements that we do. The first, well actually all of them I think have been put onto Instagram as part of a workout, so you might have seen them all before. We're starting off with kneeling squat pulses. So your knees are about hip width apart and you're here. You take it down, you squat, your bum goes in between your feet. You come down, you pulse, and then you squeeze it up, but you're just moving your legs. You're not bringing your body all the way up. So your body stays where it is. You push it down into 3 pulses. You squeeze it up. Your bum should feel like as you pulse it up. So keep your glutes activated. So you come down, pulse, pulse, squeeze, down, pulse, pulse, squeeze. So that works your glutes, but it focuses more on your quads. We usually go either straight into or have a little bit of a break before the next one, which is kneeling lean backs. So you're in a similar position. Feet are about hip width apart. You start here this time. Your whole body, apart from your lower legs, you're trying to keep it as a straight line. So you lean it back. You go as far as you can, squeeze your glutes and use your quads and all your thighs to pull you back up to the top. We normally take you back for 2 or for 4, depending on the tempo of the song. You keep your pelvis tucked up, keep your abs engaged. Just take it back as far as you can and then squeeze it back up to the top. So we normally do those without bands because the band tends to restrict the gap between your leg if you wear it there. But then the exercises that we do after that in that particular sequence, we do put a band on, so there's always a little break just to pop it on in between. The last thing I'm going to show you is an inner thigh leg lift. So for this one, you lie down on your side, you're not directly up on your hip, you're slightly back, but you're not so far back that you're sinking into it, you're still holding up. Your elbow is placed on the floor directly beneath your shoulder. This hand comes in front of you just as a bit of support. Try and make sure that your body is in a straight line. You don't want to end up twisting your whole chest here. That's definitely something I still struggle with, but we'll get there. Your top leg comes up, folds over, comes flat on the floor. Make sure there is a gap between your foot and your leg. This leg that's on the floor, you're going to point your toe to keep your whole leg engaged. You're imagining there is a string or a hook in your shoe or in your foot that's trying to pull you directly upwards. So making sure that your leg is staying in a straight line with your body and it's not veering off on a diagonal. You lift here. It might take you a while to figure out exactly the correct position for you. It might be that you need to come a bit further up or a bit further back. But as you lift, you should feel it in your inner thighs in both legs, not just the working leg. So move it around until you find the correct position for you. We do leg lifts on one side, then we tend to do pulses, which is similar to those straight leg pulses we did earlier, where you lift and you just pulse it, and then we do a hold, and then we swap over to the other leg. Cool, look at that, exactly the same position as the start. Lovely. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of an insight to what our cardio HIIT and muscle group sessions are like. They normally run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're normally at 7:30, but we're trying out doing abs at 6. Because if you eat beforehand and then do abs, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm doing Supermans on the floor and I'm just like, ooh, not nice. So yeah, we're trying that out just a bit earlier tonight so we can eat afterwards and see how that goes. On the weeks where we've got the Just Dance sessions, bums and legs tend to get squished together into one session because they're very similar. Just to give me the Friday night off because my partner finishes work earlier on a Friday and I would like an evening. That would be nice. So yeah, hopefully this has given you a little bit of information. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you for the next taster session.